Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Jimmy and this is the 2025 Kia EV6. In the market of electric crossovers, the EV6, it doesn't always top the list, does it? While it nearly doubled the sales of the Volkswagen ID.4, it sold about half as many of its cousins, the Ioniq 5. And speaking of tough news for us Canadians here, Kia has decided to drop the EV6 GT. Yeah, that performance one that was beating Lamborghinis. But hold on a minute. The EV6, while it hasn't been the greatest in sales, there's still a few touches for 2025 that could make it just a little bit better than it used to. So let me tell you everything you need to know, starting with the looks. On the front end here, it has been fully reworked. You got new headlamps, new bumper. It does look a lot more aggressive than the previous generation. I love this front end overall. It's, a lot more concept car than, the previous generation. Moving to the side, that really hasn't changed all that much, has it? You still got 20-inch wheels, although they do look quite different than the previous generation. Kia really likes geometric designs in all of their cars. There's always some sort of funky wheel design. You can appreciate it, or you can definitely go aftermarket. This steeply raked windshield with the low body line, it makes it a little bit more aggressive. You do get pop-out door handles, of course. And this spoiler. I love a good spoiler on top of cars. It looks great up here. It hides the rear view camera. But what it also hides is a little light, because if I just unlock this vehicle, there's a light that turns on underneath the spoiler to illuminate this quarter panel. This quarter panel is absolutely beautiful. The way that it's styled, it just gives the vehicle hips. It's one of the best pieces of the car. I love that. And I love this taillight. It is absolutely beautiful. One of the best taillight designs, in all of the vehicles that you can currently buy in 2025. And it doesn't have the typical Kia divorced turn signal. It is fully integrated with the taillight. Although it is red, some may not like that. If we open up the trunk, actually decent amount of space. At 24.4 cubic feet, or about 490 liters, it's big enough for most family duties, which the EV6 is primarily aimed for. Strollers, golf clubs, you shouldn't have any worries getting everything that you really need into the trunk space here. The only thing I would say is because of the angled roofline, it just isn't as tall as the Ioniq 5, for example. You do get a little bit of underfloor storage, not too much there. And of course you do get a small frunk, but really that's just for accessories and cables and whatnot. Not really designed to hold things. But let's move inside. As you're getting in, mind your head. The roofline of the EV6 is a little bit lower than that of other vehicles. Once you're here, space is all right. I'm 5'11", I got enough headroom. Legs are okay. The seats are definitely more tilted backwards to help with just the amount of legroom there is here. Because the EV6 is about 10 centimeters shorter than that of the Ioniq 5, it doesn't feel as spacious. And it also feels a little bit claustrophobic because of the darker materials that's used in here and the lack of a panoramic sunroof. But you still get your heated seats on the side, you get your vents on the pillars, you even get USB-C ports mounted on the front seats. And of course, you get an armrest and a Pokeball. That my son left. But you get an armrest in the middle with a sliding tray for your cup holders. So you can have a tray of things, or you can have cup holders, which is definitely quite unique. If you're thinking of, carrying your kiddos in here like I am, you'll be glad to know that an infant carrier or a rear-facing seat like this Collect Ling, as well as this Collect Fünf here, they both fit fine in the vehicle. There's no real issues getting child seats in here. The only thing I would say is because of just the lower roofline, getting an infant carrier may be a little bit harder when you're placing that onto the base itself. But it shouldn't be too difficult in here. Let's move up front. As this is the top trim here in Canada, the seats are heated and cooled. Sadly, no massaging and only a two-way lumbar support, no four-way. But the seats, they do have really thick bolsters on the side to keep you nice and taut in your seat. It is definitely a sportier experience than some of its competitors. What I will say is, if you're a little bit taller, you might not have the most amount of space, because I'm 5'11", and I mean, I have enough headroom, but if you're like 6'2", 3", yeah, you might be lacking a little bit there. Of course, that is with the sunroof option. Without it, you do get a little bit more space, but not too much. In front of me, we do get this updated Kia steering wheel. It's more of an octagon now than a circle, and it definitely doesn't have that Arnold's football head right in the center of the previous years. That was kind of weird. This, you know what? I can accept this. You got your drive mode selector on the bottom, all your typical buttons that you would need, and paddles behind for your regen. Behind that is what they call their panoramic display. This cluster and infotainment is definitely larger than before, and there's a decent amount of customizability within. Sadly, you can't see like maps and whatnot on the cluster, but you do get a heads-up display with turn-by-turn navigation. The main infotainment display, well, this has been updated. It does work pretty well. The menus are relatively easy to navigate, although everything's the same color, so at a glance, it may be a little bit hard for you to like know exactly which button is what. The biggest problem with the interior isn't so much, well, that display. It's the display that's underneath, because the climate control buttons, well, that has dual personality. With a button press, it can change between, well, your temperature control and like a volume knob. It's a little annoying. Depending on how you drive it and how you configure it, you're going to be driving as you go along. If you just reach down to turn the volume down, you might be on your temperature setting and you're just making things colder for yourself. So you have to look down to see, oh, okay, I'm in, well, the infotainment menu, or I'm in the climate menu before you actually turn any knobs. Like I said, a little annoying. But what I do like is just the center stack here. The start stop, the fingerprint reader, and the shifter. Like, this design is absolutely great. It's not just a piece of plastic slapped in. I mean, it is a piece of plastic, but it looks good. And it's not that glossy plastic of the previous years. Now it's like this, well, it's a textured plastic, but it kind of looks like metal. And because of that, no more reflections. Love that. You do also get a wireless Qi charger right here in the center with a grippy pad in the center, cup holders, and a decent size cubby. While the exterior and interior updates has been nice, the biggest updates, well, it's actually underneath. And it literally is underneath, because the battery is now larger than before. It's now an 84 kilowatt hour battery from 77.4, which means that range also has been expanded. In this dual motor version, we're looking at 475 kilometers versus 454 of previous years. If you get the big battery rear wheel drive, you can get up to 513 kilometers. You also can tow a little bit more at 2,700 pounds, up 400 from previous years. And of course, the charge port is different. No longer is it on the passenger side. It's now on the driver's side here. And it's an NACS port, which means I can roll into any newer Tesla supercharger and, well, charge the EV6. And combined with the 500 kilometers of range and their expansive network, this would actually make a pretty good, well, road trip EV. You don't really have to worry about that range anymore. Like with 500 kilometers, it's a decent way. Those superchargers are almost everywhere. Actually makes quite a bit of sense. But how does it drive? Well, the EV6 has always been the sportier version of the Ioniq 5. Thanks to, well, a shorter wheelbase, it does feel more nimble as well. Yes, the rear motor does put out more power than the front. So if you're on throttle in a corner, you do feel a little bit of that back end come around. Not too much, to be honest, but you do feel that it is definitely on the sportier side. The suspension, it's not like Tesla quality. I know a lot of people dislike how Teslas ride because of just how firm they are. This isn't that. While it is on the sportier side, it is firmer than that of the Ioniq 5. I wouldn't say this is uncomfortable. This is still very plush. This is still a very comfortable vehicle for longer journeys, road trips, and whatnot. Steering, I mean, it is what it is. You throw it in and everything in the vehicle kind of goes everywhere. But other than that, it's all right. I wouldn't say there's anything bad about it, but it's definitely not like confidence inspiring like the GT model was. Unfortunately, like I said, we just don't get that anymore. Some of the highway driving stuff I do like. A lot of Kia and Hyundai products are just excellent at this. Well, the adaptive cruise, the lane centering, all of that just works remarkably well. So when you are doing those long distances, you don't really have to worry about it. You just let it do its thing and you tug on the wheel every now and then. It basically stays in the lane fully for you. You do, of course, with the top trim here, get the cameras on the mirrors for not only 360 camera, but you can see your blind spot. That's a great feature to have. It's a very good vehicle overall. Of course, then the question is, why isn't the EV6 doing well? Why isn't the EV6 doing better than it should? Well, pricing. As equipped here, 68,000 Canadian dollars. It's more than that of the Ioniq 5, which is, in the practical sense, much more practical vehicle. You get more space overall. It has that airy cabin. Even the Model Y is less. And when you're competing in this segment that is less about fun, let's be honest, and more about crunching numbers, the price is a huge point. And that's what lets the EV6 down the most. It's just the price point. I mean, it's a good car overall, other than this climate control. However, I feel like if you're an owner, you'll get used to that. Like, you'll keep it on climate control settings and just use, what's on the steering wheel here. And it's fine. So I don't think that's that big of an issue. Wireless CarPlay, that works great. Like, the things that you love about Kia products, it's all here. You get a lot of features here. But the price point may be just a little bit too high. In any case, let me know what your thoughts are on the EV6. Is it actually decent value? Am I completely wrong? Do you think the Ioniq 5 is better? Or would you just want a Tesla Model Y, for example? Let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll catch you later. Take care.